following sequence is about formation flying. When I first got to flying status, I used to volunteer for formation flights just to get flying time in. I stopped doing that not too long after that because I found out that formation was dangerous. Shortly before I got to Europe, the 10 Squadron had a very bad accident flying formation, dropping paratroopers in Germany. The right wingman lost his left engine, and before he could regain control, he went across the booms of the leader, and both airplanes went in, killing 66 men. The pictures you're seeing now, I'm in the right wing position, the leader you're looking at right now, and of course the left wing off to the left. We usually flew formation in VIX of 3, like this, and we've got it tucked in pretty tight. For airplanes of this size, that's dangerous. Formation flying is very, very taxing on the pilot that's flying the airplane. About 15 minutes of it is the most they can take without a little break. And the way it's done is the leader flies along serenely, making very gentle turns and corrections, and the two wingmen follow him. They never take their eyes off the leader. They have one hand on the yoke, one hand on the throttles, and have to be ready for anything. Some formation leaders were quite good and some were not. Here's a situation where the pilot of my airplane has pulled out considerable distance to the right, either maybe to take a little breather, or he made a correction that it took him some time to recover from. Here's some shots around the barracks with the new telephoto lens. As you can see, we're right out in the middle of farm country. This was in the spring of 1957, and you can see that things are growing out there. Little copses of woods. It was in this area, from some of those copses of woods, that the V-1 buzz bombs were launched on London in World War II. It was all very pastoral around there. But we were only about 2 hours drive from Paris, so we didn't mind too much. This is looking back the other direction, actually to the west, toward the hangar and the hard stand around it where the airplanes were parked. This side belonged to the 12th Squadron. The middle and the back was the 11th Squadron, and the far side of the hangar belonged to the 10th Squadron. Later on, they took the 12th Squadron and moved us across the base to a new hangar and gave the whole hangar to the 10th and 11th Squadron at this point. This is a formation takeoff. If you look up just above the windshield wiper to the left side of the runway, you'll see another airplane take off in just a second. He's the leader. We're the right wing, and there's another airplane behind us. Now you see the airplane just above the horizon. We didn't do this very often because the prop wash from the airplanes in front was very difficult to fly in. There's a picture of the shadow. We're at about 500 feet in that photograph. This is a formation join-up. The leader flies straight ahead, and these two wingmen catch up with him. And you go very carefully at this point until you're ready to tuck in. At this point, that's Lieutenant Rawlings flying the airplane. And that's pretty tight formation. Our wing is overlapping his wing. This is a formation turn. Now watch Lieutenant Rawlings' right hand is on the throttles. He's flying the airplane with his left hand, and the co-pilot has his hand on the prop controls, the prop pitch controls. All this was all very tense. But at the time I thought it was fun, because I was young and I didn't know any better. And I used to love to do it. That's a pretty heavy correction he just made. Something must have scared him. We're coming in over the runway. There's a C-119 ready to take off and a C-123 landing on the main runway. We're about 1,500 feet above, I'd say. Here's a picture of Hangar 4 from the air with the hard stands around it. This is a formation peel-off turn. We did what we called a 270-degree overhead turn. Now the purpose of this is to come out of the turn lined up with a runway and land. With an airplane the size of a C-119, this was a difficult maneuver. We're also pulling about, I'd say, 3 Gs when we were making turns like this, which was unusual for the C-119. The engineer, poor man, had to go down and visually check the landing gear while all this was going on. As you see, he's missed the runway slightly. He had to correct to get back in line with the runway. So he didn't come out of the turn exactly right. We tried it time after time after time, and it never did come out exactly right. Making corrections like that this close to the ground is very dangerous. This is another formation flight that we took where there was only 2 of us, the leader and the right wingman, and a T-33 from somewhere, never did know where, came and joined up with us. Now his problem was to slow down enough to be able to fly formation with us. And if you'll notice the bottom of his airplane, the dive brakes are out. And I'm sure he's got it throttled back. Flew formation with us, I'd say, for about 20 minutes, and then flew away.